Dr. Anna Colton is a chartered clinical psychologist who's with us here just now. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Now, we're here to talk about your research on children and families, basically. So, would you say that technology is entirely bad for families these days?
Oh, absolutely not. Technology is an amazing resource, both in terms of kind of connecting with people, with friends, for work, but also, in schools, for education, amazing apps. It's really not all bad. And actually, you can play some family games, can't you, on your technology as well, on your phone. So it's really not all bad at all. There are huge positives. It's just that when it becomes the only mode of communication or the only mode of connection, or we could get into trouble.
Yes, and I take it you still need some sort of downtime as well.
Definitely. Having some downtime every day is really important for mental health and for building relationships. And that's why Vodafone's new product, their dinner time with Alexa, where you can specify certain devices that have the Wi-Fi turned off for 30 minutes, is so helpful, because everybody's Wi-Fi goes off. So nobody in the family can be playing on their device, and you hopefully eat a meal together or spend time together, and 30 minutes is a great amount of time to do that.
Yes, and it's interesting because there's a new survey which says only 1 in 5 families have a screen-free dinner time together, which is insane, really.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? It's so few. I mean, it is so few families, and it may be that that's dinner in front of the telly rather than dinner on phones. But whatever it is, whatever it is, the ability to sit and chat and reflect on the day and hear everybody's stories, and maybe play some games over dinner, or watch your parents, navigate conversations, navigate those yourself, observe what's happening with your kids, is lost if you're locked into your device.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So how do you think people should approach this? Maybe they are a mum or a dad, or maybe even a child, and want to have a screen-free dinner time or just less time with technology. How do they approach the other members of their family and say, let's do this?
That's a great question, because you want to get buy-in, don't you, from everybody? You want everyone to go, well, that's a good idea. So you can as a parent, you can just say, look, guys, we're going to do this. This is the new kind of way we're going to operate. You can lay it down like that if you're a parent, but you can also say, we think it's really important. We have a lot of fun when we don't have our devices, and we want to do that every day. We want to build it into our routine, because we're disconnecting. We're not spending time really talking to each other. We're not spending time having a laugh together. So and you can set a date, ideally a little bit in the future. So not from today, because that always becomes a shock. But, from 2 days' time, we've got this new Alexa that is going to turn off the Wi-Fi for half an hour, and we're going to have a meal together, and all of us are going to do it. And it's going to be a new routine, and it's going to be every day.
Yeah, although inevitably there will be some backlash from your 10-year-old son. So how do you deal with that?
Well, there may be some backlash. But one of the nice things is that if it becomes a routine, if everybody's doing it, and that's the key to this, is that a lot of the backlash comes because kids feel that parents don't do the same as them. So kids feel that often I get the complaint in clinic that, my mum and dad tell me I can't have my phone in my bedroom, but they have their phone in their bedroom. It's really common. So if we say all of us are doing it, and you can also say, look, I know it's going to be different. I know it might be a bit annoying, but actually we'll get used to it really quickly, and it is going to really help us, and we're going to learn to relate in a little bit of a different way. We're going to increase the amount of fun we have together. So if you can think about it as something that's fun, that's something that you're going to look forward to, rather than some kind of discipline, it also makes it better.
Yeah, that's an interesting psychology, because they say that about a lot of things that you don't want to do, that somebody somewhere in the world wants to do it. So you have to find the good.
Yeah. And you know what you can say? Well, we're going to test it. You say we'll do it as an experiment. If it really doesn't work for us, we don't have to do it forever, but we're going to do the experiment. And that's quite nice, because sometimes kids hear change never changes again. But if you frame it as an experiment, and then we can, see how it goes every day, and after a week, we'll decide if we want to carry on, then it doesn't feel so long term.
Oh, yeah. So what do families actually benefit from spending more real life time together?
Well, for kids learn how to relate, how to interact, how to respond and deal with situations by watching how other people do it.
Yeah.
And watching it on a screen isn't the same thing. So they don't really know how what they say comes across unless a real live person reacts to it in the moment. Yeah. And that's how we build what are called internal models. The internal models of, behaving, the internal models of relating are learned through watching our parents, our families, interacting with them, noticing what responses we have, noticing how people respond to us. And it's also a brilliant way to watch the non-verbals, because actually so much communication is non-verbal. And if you can sit across the dinner table from somebody and notice that what they're saying maybe doesn't quite fit with how they're looking, you can be curious about that. You can really relate in a different way and bond in a different way. And there's all sorts of opportunities. I keep saying humor and fun because I think actually if you can have the bits of fun as well, people will want to keep going.
Yes, absolutely. Well, where can we go to find out more information about everything to do with this?
So head over to vodafone.co.uk/broadband, and there is loads more information on the Pro Broadband offering there with the Alexa built in and the dinner time.
Great. Well, thanks very much for coming on the show today. It's been great chatting with you.
Thanks very much for having me.